Here we are at Wegner Motorsports up in Markesan, Wisconsin. We're ready to take a tour with the owner, Casey Wegner.
Yeah, let's go check it out. This area here used to be the farm shed, like where I grew up just in the old farmhouse in front, and then this is my dad's farm shed, so we use it for teardown now. And then right over in this little hole here, believe it or not, was where he used to port hundreds of Buick V6 heads. So hundreds and hundreds, like tons of Buick V6 heads. But yeah, he poured it in there, and then I'd have to come and try to get him to go to dinner, and he'd yell at me that he was busy, and you know, then we would just go back at it. I'd go get yelled at by mom, go get yelled at by him some more, and
Is this the building where I would have heard the story of the cylinder head getting thrown out the screen door?
Yeah, there was cylinder heads that were they were flying all over this area.
And this would be the assembly room?
Yes, sir, this is the assembly room. So in here you see everything from street motors, race motors, all different types, you know, depending on what we all got going on. Somebody's big block Ford. We got a guy's street supercharged LS 427. This is like a 327 cubic inch dirt engine package that we run out east quite a bit.
Preston was just asking about that. You guys are getting in a lot more dirt work stuff now,
yeah,
right?
a lot of dirt work, Here's another one. So a couple of them. This is a 441 LS7, new little project we're working on for an intake manifold. So
you do a 427 for the dirt cars as well?
Yep, we do a 427 for the dirt cars and a 434. That's like the big Mamma Jamma solid roller cam high RPM one. So yeah, these are actually our new covers. We're gonna start pushing these more. It's a new coil cover that we did just to hide the coils. It gives it more of a three-dimensional look to it.
Your O-ring in the exhaust manifolds though?
Yep. Just our own cylinder heads, and then we're doing a little O-ring groove just to try to make sealing up a little easier. So yeah, all the engines get assembled in here from all sorts, from street to race. Benny's doing another 427 for somebody right now, dart block, Callie's crank. This particular one's got Oliver rods in it, Mala pistons. A couple of the billet intakes for some projects. These are all actually short blocks ready for assembly that we're going to be doing. So
got your work cut out for you.
Yeah, there's a lot of them that get done.
This explains why there's a backlog when we order an engine.
Exactly. So in here we do all the rods, cranks, pistons, blocks, all that sorts of lower parts and whatnot. This is the new Rottler CNC hone that we got. It's made a huge difference for us, getting like the new block boring machine we got also. The two can run together, and literally Jared or whoever's running them can be off doing something else while the two machines are running, and it's made to the point where we can machine enough blocks to keep our assembly room guys busy for quite a while. So that's why they're sitting right now, because we just machined a bunch to get ready for assembly, and now we're good. But what it's done for us on like sealing up the bores and performance and everything as far as that goes, and speeding everything up has just been huge for us. And then we put in a new balancing machine. Another good balancing machine here that we just added. That really helps speed up all of our crank balancing that we do. Everything gets all balanced.
Cylinder head assembly room.
Yep, so this is cylinder heads where we do all the, so this supports all the cylinder head stuff for the engine shop and outside customers. That way, for like smaller volume. In the back shop is where we do more of the higher volume, but there's two of the new ones over here. So there's two new ones. This is a slick machine because it pilots on the valve guide, cuts on the valve tip. It's a single point cutter, locks the head on air when it positions, and then cuts the valve seat geometry to whatever shape that you want to program, and does a flawless job. So we had to have two of them. Well, one, the guys were fighting over the new ones, everybody wanted to use the new ones. So we just got one, so one head set up doing intake valves, one's doing exhaust valves, and it's just boom, boom, done. And that way you're not resetting up the machine. All customers' heads of different sorts, depending on who or what we got going on. Flow bench, all the heads get assembled in there for final assembly.
Used to do porting in that room back in the day, right?
Oh yeah, there was some porting that happened in there too. Surfacing machine, some of our own LT heads and LS heads. They're all over the place. Back, there's the dyno rooms are in here. There's 2 dyno cells, one that we do all the supercharged. Both were DTSs that we upgraded. This has got all the latest Superflow stuff on it. This one we still do all the carbureted circle track stuff on, so that one kind of stays set up for that. And then this one we do all the fuel injected, supercharged, turbocharged, and any of the stuff we want to check all 802s and just kind of make sure we see what's all going on for data collection. We're actually looking at adding a third over here.
This was a dyno room at one point, right?
Yep, the third one, and it got taken over with EFI parts. Lots of EFI stuff. So back here is Jared's office, and Jared works on a lot of the kind of new projects, or unicorns as we call them here, because they're more one-off. Get everything from, like, this is kind of a cool engine package. So this is a intake manifold that we ported for this Ford big block, and in the class they have to run cast iron heads. So we just took the cast iron stock heads to the limit and designed our own valve train setup for it. So we did our own rocker bar, worked with Manton to get the right rockers, all titanium. Braze welded up the exhaust ports and CNC ported those. Ported the, put epoxy in the intakes and ported those.
Raised them.
But the result is it turns 10,000 RPM and makes just shy of 1,000 horse, like 998.
Naturally aspirated. That's pretty sweet. What cubic inch you say?
480.
Dang.
Yeah, it sounds, not a Ford guy, but it's impressive. It's impressive. I can't lie. So this was supposed to only ever be just in and outgoing product in our warehouse when we did the expansion, and we've just got so busy that now you're gonna see CNC machines in here too, put in every corner that we can find, just to try to get the stuff done. And we're looking at putting up the new building should go up next spring in the back. So another 30,000 square feet we're adding to try to get the machines all moved back there, material that feeds the machines back there, and product. And then this will just be all outgoing finished product in this area, like we always intended it to be. Valve covers, that's all valve cover inventory over there for all the different types of valve covers that we do. A lot of hidden coil stuff and with the custom engraving on it. Like we just talked to Ben. There's usually some laying out here somewhere. These are, this area is where they're getting all the kits and stuff ready to go out. They're working on getting another big load. We go once a week to our anodizer in Chicago for bright dip black anodize, and pretty much, if not twice a week lately, just to try to keep up with everything else we're doing.
In case you with your covers, you get them anodized and then you machine the engravings in them?
Yep, so everything goes out, it gets machined, cleaned up, and then goes out, and then goes through the anodizing process. We inspect them when they get back, make sure everything looks good, and then we engrave it. So that's kind of how that rolls. And we don't engrave anything until the customer signs off on the design. So Ben usually does a pretty good job of sending a rendering out to the customer and make sure that that's what they want to see and get approved. Because the kind of the valve cover, it's just a valve cover, but it's also like the
focal point of the engine.
Yeah,
right?
Focal point that the customer is just proud when they pop the hood, and that's their baby that they want. So it's got to kind of present that to them. So it's just some more billet brackets for our own kits, spacers. Right over here is where we assemble all the Harley heads. These are all kits that are going out. So your typical kit, every part gets wrapped up and bubble wrapped and then wrapped again when it gets packed, so that hopefully nobody at UPS can get the stuff smashed up. It still happens sometimes, but we try our best to make sure that all the stuff makes it out so that it can't get damaged, and then all the components that go with it. So this horizontal does all the valve covers, does other stuff too, but it's pretty busy doing valve covers these days. So it's got one pallet that does 4 valve covers per side, and then the other pallet that's doing the same thing, just 2 operations. So the nice thing with the horizontals is they can be, you're loading it while it's running, so it's always running.
So with this machine, about how many valve covers can you do a day?
Oh man, we can probably do right around 40 to 50 of the bigger covers a day.
Okay.
So all billet, so a lot of stuff is all pretty much coming into here at billet. We fill about a 40-yard container once a week with chips.
Oh wow.
That's a lot of billet chips.
Good beer money, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so this is another part we're doing. You know, all billet kind of cool. It needed, you know, it needed some special machining, so we had to work that out, and you can kind of see in there that's working on that. This is another new horizontal. So we have, we like them both. There's goods and bads about both, but they're both an awesome machine. We've got all Doosan's and Akumas for doing a lot of the heavy machining that we're doing and whatnot. When I say heavy, I'm saying like high horsepower, fast machining, all that kind of stuff. So in here's our quality room. We added a Zeiss CMM. We got Matt in here. Matt's doing all the inspection for everything now. So that's working out really good, so we can keep inspecting all the parts we want to make and make sure everything, the quality's staying right where we need it to be. That's a couple printers that we had built, one bigger one for doing the really big stuff, and then just one of the cheaper Prusas, but it actually works really, really well for the cost that you get out of it. So I honestly don't even know what we're printing on it today, but
Part for one of the guys' cars that works.
yeah, you never know. I think it's another part for a manifold, this manifold assembly we're working on. Yeah, so that's a cool part that we're doing. Hopefully that'll be released sooner or later. Yeah, these are all the valve covers that we're doing over here right now, doing a run of those. That's one of our more popular ones. That's the round hidden coil cover, so we do quite a bit of those. Just another, these are a couple of our Akuma verticals. These have been just fabulous machines for us. We added, so years ago, my dad passed away in 2019, and then shortly after that, we were getting busier and busier, and then we needed to figure out what we were gonna do to get more stuff done. So we added this Akuma, and it was immediately jammed up with work. So we got another one, like another few months later, and then we added a 4th axis on probing to this one, and then it was jammed up right away. So then we had to get a horizontal, another 5 axis, and it's been, all that's happened in the last 5 years pretty much.
Lots of growth in the last few years.
So we do a lot of our own billet pulleys. So this is like a crank pulley that you see on a lot of LSA drives that we do in-house, and then we got a new laser etching machine, so we do all our lasering to try to have the sizes and the part numbers. So
are you making them just for your own stuff, or are you also making them for other people?
right now it's just for us, but there's no reason somebody else couldn't use it too, to be honest. Make them in all different diameters. So this one is, that's a dual pallet vertical. That one you can, same thing, you're loading and it's machining on the other side. We just finished a big job on it, so they're getting ready to do another one. That's what all these are for. So that's a lot of pulleys, you know, so we do hundreds of these pulleys here too. And there's a bunch there that are going through the phase right now.
And you make pulleys for Whipple as well, right?
Yep, that's what a lot of this is. And then these are the other couple, new ones that we have over here to support all the Harley stuff. So same thing. So this one does intake, exhaust. We're just doing some maintenance on them because we run them pretty hard. We run them, you know, they're running every day a lot back here. So obviously not right at the moment, but so we'll do intake, but same thing where it pilots on the pilot and cuts any valve seat geometry what we want, but we can do intake, exhaust, and then they're done. So you'll see in a second why we need to do that.
How many are out there?
These are actually, sorry to run, but these are actually a couple old Fidels that we had from day one back in 1998. So we got those for the first two machines, and Vinny that works here won't let them die, so we just keep them trucking. So this area here is all 5-axis head porting and manifold porting. So these are all 5-axes, and anybody that knows anything about head porting will see, like, they'll recognize these are all Boston-matics. I think we have 6 of them now. So once again, Vinny that works for us, he just knows these things inside and out, so he keeps them maintained, and they do a really good job at what they do. So this one's actually doing a Cathedral Port LS head that we're doing for a NASCAR company, you know, that still uses these heads.
You guys still do a fair amount of Cathedral Port stuff?
Yep. Yeah, again, with circle track, you only want to make so much power. So if you make too much, it's a problem. If you don't make enough, it's a problem. So it's got to be like right there. Yeah, so out back here is where the new building is. It's going to be, we're just trying to get everything sorted out so everything's right into code and think everything through. When they printed a thing out for me so I could lay out all the machines that I'll show you up in my office. But when I first saw it, we just don't want any more of those shipping containers because they're jammed full of product and we don't want to have to get any more. So basically, yeah, the whole building is going to fill this all up. And then going
to be attached to this one or separate?
No,
building?
It's going to be separate just to keep everything, you know, manufacturing and
separate
and warehousing. So manufacturing will be over there. All the warehousing will be in here for the material and incoming, and then we're going to actually probably move our show trailer and show motors and stuff down here. So
sure,
and we can have it closer so they're not running up there to work on all the stuff all the time. This is what I was talking about. So one of our guys, I was having a hard time picturing where I wanted all the machines, so he printed them all to scale on the little printer in the back,
nice.
So I could kind of
play around with where you're going to put them,
see where everything's going to go. And then I quickly realized the building wasn't going to be big enough, so that's why I'm trying to change stuff up and go bigger. But yeah, so yeah, kind of a cool story. My dad started it back in '75, and you know, we've been going, it's our 50th anniversary this year, so we got some cool swag that we're starting to get out there for everybody finally. So
you saved me one of the pictures or one of the shirts with Carl.
Oh yeah, the picture Brad took.
Yeah, actually
pretty cool. That's actually
PRI.
Brad's photo. So we miss him. We wish he was still here. He definitely was. That's the thing, the old guys all have a wealth of knowledge, so anytime you can get anything you can from them, get it now, because they're not going to be around forever.
Soon we'll be those old guys.
Yeah, this is kind of a cool thing too here. We got the originals. So the way the story goes, the reason we got into LSs was we were doing work for Harley. I was down for the 100th anniversary, and I was going down there for something, and I left the dealership, or not the dealership, I left Capitol Drive Harley, and then just down from there was a dealership that had a Pontiac WS6 sitting out. And that dealership was Cadillac and Pontiac, and they were getting rid of the Pontiac side of it. So I'm like, they were blowing out this WS6, and I was like, oh man, I gotta have that, you know, zero interest, I can afford it. So I bought it and drove it home, and my dad's like, what the, you know, you bought a new effing car, you know? And I'm like, well, things really this new LS engine's pretty cool. So he's like, well, pop the hood, let's take a look. And it wasn't even a month, and he had to have the motor out to take a look at it. So he started looking at it, and you know, that's when they decided to start developing a carburetor intake. And we fought all the time. So I'm like, who's going to put a carburetor on an old LS motor? Well, a whole bunch of people did, and it's still getting used today in different applications.
And then you guys also created a front drive with the distributor in it.
Yep. So that's what these two parts are. So we had to do both because the coil pack thing wasn't really getting accepted well in circle track racing. So we got the carburetor intake design and the front cover. So this would put a distributor and a mechanical fuel pump on an old school LS, and that way and then we cast it. So we cast them both at a local foundry here in Plymouth, Bremer Manufacturing, and did a great job on them. And then they turned it around and we started producing them, and then GM liked the idea. So I think his name was Bob Cross, was a friend of my dad's back then, and he got the deal done so that GM bought the tooling, and then they started selling these, and we could machine them for GM. So it worked out like a cool project that way, and still using them today in circle track applications. So
Thank you, Casey, for showing us around. It was a great tour.
yeah, me and Brad have been friends for a long time, and we're going to keep it that way. So it's always fun. You get in this industry, you get to be friends with everybody that you work with that's, you know, worth their salt and whatnot. So, and Brad's got to be a good friend of mine. Whether we even work on cool stuff or not, you know, we still hang out on the weekends, and you never know what's going on. But yeah, no, it's a fun industry to be in. I can tell everybody that.
It's got its stressful moments too, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. There's definitely. I mean, if it wasn't stressful, it wouldn't keep things interesting, I guess.
Right.
So, but yeah, thanks for coming up.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.